Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, and welcome to the Context Denied podcast, the podcast with only 3 rules. 1, the guest has no idea what's going on. 2, no guest is on 2 weeks in a row. And 3, there's no pressure to listen the entire time. I'm Hadley, and my guest today is...
I'm Macy. I have been dancing, all my life, but I promise I'm not a dance, freak. If you know what I mean. I'm not a mean girl, I promise.
She is very nice.
Yeah.
I've literally been trying to think of a topic since we scheduled this, 2 weeks ago. Last week, but 2 weeks ago.
I thought it was 2 weeks ago, so
maybe it is 2 weeks ago. I don't know. So you're really hard to come up with a topic for, so that's a good thing.
Oh.
Probably.
I was like, is that an insult, Hadley?
It's also, there's not much I could talk to you about, and more of there's so much I could talk to you about.
Oh, well.
That I can't think of, what specifically to talk about. But, is it grouping you into one thing if we talk about dance?
No, because
Okay. I just want to make sure, because sometimes you feel people feel like I'm just, grouped into this one thing.
Yeah, and
that's
all,
all
you're making it my whole personality.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
Want to make sure before we start, and that was, the first one I was going to go to, just because I know that's something you know a lot about. It's something I know stuff about. Not as much, probably, but it's stuff I can, because it's sometimes hard to, find the good balance between, guests having information and me having information about it. So, have you ever done competitive dance? That's my first question.
To all my competitive, girls and guys and literally anyone, I just hate the competitive aspect of dance. I feel like it's no.
I feel like it's toxic.
I feel like it is toxic, but, if that's your jam, go for it. Do it. Win those. But, I've just always, felt like it's, taking away from the more, art, the arts aspect of it.
Yeah.
And just making it, fight to the death. No. I've never done it, but I have friends who have, just decided, ooh, I'll try it, and it just looks like a lot of makeup, and I'm like, I don't want to do that.
That's
that's one of the main reasons.
That's fair. My sister-in-law did a study for one of her classes in college. She got 10 athletes and 10 dancers who did competitive dance for a certain amount of years, and the athletic the sports people had done it for a certain amount of years. It was even factors, and she tested a bunch of factors, and one of them was mental health, and the competitive dancers' mental health was so severely worse than the sports people. So I thought it was interesting. But I'm asking you that just so I could base my question off of it. But
No. You're chill.
So what do you think, what do you think is the most artistic part of dance, and what do you like the most about it?
Okay, so the most artistic part is probably if you choreograph.
Mm-hmm.
I usually don't choreograph unless I'm at school and I'm doing something for it. I like to say I'm good at choreographing, but then sometimes I'm like, oh, am I using this too much? Is this too much?
Which that can be a matter of
but
opinion.
That's if you think about it, an artist is is this too much of this? Is this too much of this color scheme? Or I'm not an artist, guys, please. I don't know what I'm talking about. I took one art class. But my favorite part is just honestly, and this varies from people, but performing, because that's when I do my best.
Yeah.
Because it's just a thrill. I love being backstage. I love getting ready. I love my colleagues, my peers, because honestly, they're just the best, and they lift you up. So they usually don't bring you down.
Usually.
There's been a few cases, but
I think a really cool... Sorry, did I interrupt you?
No,
okay,
go ahead.
I just want to make sure. I think a really cool thing about dance and performing, because I do more of performing than I do dancing in general, but I do dance. I have done dance, and I have done a lot of theater and stuff. So I've done a lot of performing within my life, plus piano and stuff like that. And I also enjoy performing, and I also just like the community that it sometimes brings.
Yeah.
like, I met so many people doing a musical at my school. Like, I did not know anything about these people, and I became really good friends with a lot of them. So I think the community is really cool when it comes to performing, and I agree. I think choreographing, not that I've ever choreographed anything, but I can see why that would be a good, like, artistic expression. And
it's a good outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially, I used to watch World of Dance all the time.
Oh my gosh. That threw me back.
I know, and I wish it was still going, and I loved World of Dance so much. I loved Michael Demeski.
Oh my gosh. I, like, watched World of Dance for, like, maybe a week. So, like, I kind of know. But, like, I feel like the general memories hooked up with it are, like, those are positive.
Yeah, no, exactly. I watched season 2 and season 3, and then they changed, like, a bunch of stuff in season 4. And so we started watching it, and then my sister saw who won on Instagram, and then I just kind of got bored after that because she, like, knows everything. She, like, knew everything, and so I was like, but she wouldn't tell me.
Oh,
and so I was like...
That's painful.
I was like, I don't know, I just kind of was like, okay, I'm done. Also just because the way they changed it wasn't my favorite, and then they haven't done it after that season. Not in America. They do it in other places, I think, still, but season 2 and 3 were great, and I still follow some dancers from it, but what was I going with this? Oh, yes, I remember.
Okay.
But a lot of things that people said, because in like all those competitive TV shows and stuff like that, where
like
they
Dance
have...
Moms. Okay, that's the one thing I will watch is Dance Moms because it's just entertainment. It's not even like, I don't even watch it for like the dances, like sure they're great, they're gorgeous for like 10-year-olds. But like, I'm sorry, it's just funny.
That's fair. But like how they have like the interviews with like the new people and stuff like that. And so a lot of people, what they would say about like the dancing and stuff like that is they talk about how it's an artistic outlet for them.
Yeah.
And that was one of the coolest parts of the show is seeing how you can put emotion into dance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, something one of the judges would say, and I don't remember which one it is. I could tell you who all the judges were, but I couldn't tell you which one was saying this. Was talking about like how like this is like you show it with your body.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
rather than creating it by like using a paintbrush or like
or your voice.
Or your voice, yes.
Or a pencil.
Other things.
But
yeah, I see where you're going with that cuz like it is just such an outlet of like just creativeness, especially if you're not like, "Oh, I suck at drawing." Like you don't.
Yeah.
But like
I mean, I suck at drawing. I mean, I do kind of, but I
feel the same way.
I do well at other things. I think everyone needs an outlet to express themselves.
Yeah.
This is an interesting thing we could delve into.
Spicy.
I think everyone needs something they can dive into to
Sorry, it just got me. I thought you were gonna like, I don't know, but I would like when you were like, I was like, oh, what's gonna happen?
I think everyone needs something to dive into to express themselves, and it doesn't even have to be like something that you're doing yourself. Some people just listen to music to express themselves. Mm-hmm. Some people dance to express themselves. Some people paint to express themselves. Some people make videos to express themselves. That's what I do. And some people write songs to express themselves. Some people write poetry, books. This list could go on forever, and I'm trying.
Or they just talk.
Yeah, or they just talk. People just talk. People do sports. People express themselves in sports, in gymnastics, in
other sports.
Yeah, other sports, in aerial arts.
What? Wait, like flying or like?
No. I mean, probably, but no, in like aerial silks. That's what.
Okay. I was like, I forgot that was a thing. Jeez.
I have a friend who does aerial silks. I have several who do aerial silks. Aerial silks. Oh my gosh, that's so hard to say fast.
Aerial silks.
Aerial silks. Oh my gosh. And then another one. I had another one in my brain and I lost it. Oh, like video games, like gaming. Some people express themselves through gaming, through like Minecraft. They build things they want to build. Through talking to other people on the internet. Some people express themselves through social media, and sometimes it's through Twitter, and they shouldn't.
Period, they shouldn't.
You should always try and express yourself in a healthy way that does not put down others. I have an entire thing about Twitter I have said several times on this podcast, which is Twitter is such a bad place of expression because it's allowed too much expression. Well, there is expression, and expression is a good thing. There are certain points where you need to know when to stop, when to stop, who you're around, like
your audience, your target audience. Yeah. People who are just like scrolling. I don't know how Twitter works.
Yeah. And like my biggest example of this is like Mr. Beast. I'm using Mr. Beast because Mr. Beast is someone who constantly gets talked about on Twitter.
Okay.
I'm not even on Twitter, and I know this. That's how bad Twitter is.
It just spreads to the others.
It just spreads. Also, Twitter is one of those things like Tumblr is, where people just take screenshots and then put it on other social medias. Like Pinterest or Instagram or whatever. But Mr. Beast is my best example for this, because he literally, like, he does something, every single video, someone finds some way to criticize it. But, like, why, though?
I know, like, why? Like, sure, opinions matter, you can have opinions, but, like...
But you don't need to shove them.
You can express your opinions, but you don't need to shove them down someone's throat, especially if they're to belittle someone or, like, harm them just because they're, like, he's doing a good thing. Like, he's helping others. Like,
he's genuinely trying his best. Like, his most recent video, he released, I am a Mr. Beast follower, so I know a lot.
Okay, I am not. I just am, like, here and there. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
cool.
That's fair. Yeah. His most recent video, he did, like, $1 plane ride versus, like, $100,000 or, like, $500,000 plane ride or something like that. Not me calling myself a Mr. Beast fan and then not remembering the video. And then at the end, he put this thing where he's like, I know we emitted a lot of gas from flying a bunch of places, so I'm planting, like, 1 million trees. Like, he was like, so I'm paying for this many trees to be planted. Like, he tries so hard, and he does such a good stuff, and people just feel the need to, like...
Bash him.
And I don't think he cares, and I think he knows, and same with, like, I've talked about this so much, like, this is something that comes up because it makes me really angry, but yeah, I think there is a healthy way to express your opinion. Like, if I say, this is Henry...
This is Henry.
If I say this is Henry, that is fine. If my friend says this is Dolfo, he is wrong. However, that is fine. That is his opinion, even though his factual name, his birth name is Henry. But if someone were to be like that, then that's fine. But if someone goes, if you do not believe that his name is Dolfo, then you are just the most despicable being on the human planet, and I hope you go to Tartarus. Then that's unhealthy.
Jeez, I haven't read Percy Jackson in a while. That took me back.
That's what I'm here for, obviously.
Jeez, the flashbacks of 4th grade.
But basically what I'm saying, like, if you go up to someone and you're like, or if you're talking to someone and they're like, hey, I like Taylor Swift, and then you're like, oh, that's cool. Like, I don't really care for Taylor Swift, but I'm glad, like, her music, you enjoy her music.
Yeah.
That's fine, but there are people who would go like, how dare you listen to Taylor Swift? She's such an awful...
Stop being a Swiftie. She's not even, like, good. Like,
yeah. Like,
leave her alone.
Yeah, like, I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift, but I don't judge others who are a fan of Taylor Swift, because, like, it's just not my style of music. The style of music I listen to is very different from a lot of other people. And so... But, like, I don't care for, like, Billie Eilish or Harry Styles or Taylor Swift, but
I was kind of offended by the Harry Styles.
But when I meet people who enjoy that music, I'm like, good for you. I'm glad you enjoy music, because I love music, and it doesn't matter what kind of music you're listening to, you're enjoying it.
Exactly. Like, sorry, train of thought.
Love that.
No, like, I feel like we've touched this, but, like, just, like, valuing people because they're people.
Yeah.
And, like, they have opinions because they're allowed to have opinions because they're humans.
That's the other thing. Sorry.
No. Hold on.
Okay. No, I'm sorry.
And it's just, like, like, just, like, leave them alone. Just let them live their happy little life. I mean, maybe it's not happy, but, like, I'm sorry. Like, maybe you've got a really bad life. But, like, if this is your way of, like, expressing yourself and, like, maybe coping with that bad life, then, like, leave them alone.
Yeah.
Like, please, just let people be whoever they want to be.
Yeah, and this is another interesting thing. Are you done?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, just making sure. I feel bad because sometimes I'm doing the podcast and I, like, interrupt people. I'm like, no, I'm so sorry. But, that's another thing is last week, and I think kind of the week before that, but mostly last week, I was talking to someone about how I feel like sometimes on the internet people can, just forget that the people on the other side are real people. Mm-hmm. But I think that also relates to, like, in real life.
Real life, like.
Yeah. Like, and I think I was also talking about this last week, but I just want to reiterate this kind of in a different way. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, I feel like teachers are treated like that a lot. Mm. I feel like sometimes people forget teachers are real people. Like, teachers are real people, and they put a lot of effort into stuff.
To get a very crappy pay job.
To get a very
crappy... Freaking paycheck.
To get a very crappy paycheck, and to get, like, treated really badly. Like, paycheck or not, like, they're still treated terrible. Like, if they were treated better, maybe, like, but, teachers, another good example is, like, just, like, retail workers and, like, fast food workers. Like, minimum wage is, like, $7.25, I think.
I'm not really sure, actually.
I think it's $7.25, and, like, certain fast food workers, like, you hear horrors, and, like, and it's different if you're just, like, want some, like, if you're just weird, and you're like, I want my lettuce fried, or something like that, I don't know. I want my water fried.
How does that even work? Do you just take, like, all the, like, stuff in, like, the deep fry, and you just pour it into your water?
Have you seen one of those, like, water circle things?
I think so,
That's, like, tangible?
Oh, yeah.
I think you fry one of those.
I never knew you could fry water.
I did. Because one time, a couple years ago, we had to write scary stories for an assignment, and someone's story had, it was your brother's, by the way, had fried water in it, and then I looked it up, and I found it. And so apparently...
I mean, of course... I was like, who else would be in a writing class with Hadley?
Well, it wasn't even a writing class. It was our student council class.
And you just have to write scary stories?
We had to write scary stories because we were doing a scary story competition and no one was entering, so we just all entered.
That sounds like our school.
Yeah, exactly. Where were we?
We were talking about fast food workers.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, yes. But fast food workers get, like, so much crap, and like it's different if you're like you just, like, want something very specific or something like that. Like, that's not a problem. But also, like, people are just, like, downright abusive. Like,
blatantly rude?
Yeah. Blatantly rude. And, like, a big one that came up during, like, COVID and stuff like that was Karens. Like, in that whole stereotype and stuff like that. And, like, that just, like, people need to remember that, like, other people have lives. And I'm not saying, like, oh, you're all so selfish and self-absorbed, and how dare you, and whatever. But yeah. Sometimes gibberish. Oh my gosh. Sometimes gibberish.
You're just trying to say gibberish, and then you're like,
yeah, exactly. It just doesn't. My brain and mouth do not connect sometimes.
I get. Wait.
But I don't know. I think people just need to be more aware of their surroundings and, like, communication. I feel like a huge problem with communication now is just, like, well, not even now. I don't know.
In general?
In general. I didn't live in the 17th century, so I don't know. It could have been the same in the 17th, 18th, 19th century, 20th century. I don't know. But, like, people just the way people's brains are wired, it's like sometimes you just forget to put something into something, and then you're like, oh, they know what I'm talking about, and then they don't.
No, because, like, anytime, guys, I'm a, like, really big geek. Like, not geek, but, like, I like things, like,
Passionately,
especially like Marvel and Star Wars, which
that is a geek.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it is. I'm a geek.
I'm sorry, but it's like, I don't know. And then like I'll like reference something, and they're like, I don't get it, and I'm like, it's like frustrates me, but I'm like, okay, well, like, yeah, that's not everything everyone knows. Not everyone wants to watch all the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
I
reference things all the time. That'd be an interesting thing to delve into. Marvel's such an interesting.
I haven't watched all the shows. Like, I never watched Daredevil, and like people hate me for that, but
I stopped after, I think, Thor: Love and Thunder. I haven't seen anything past that.
I mean, jeez, only She-Hulk, the Guardians, freaking holiday special. That thing was good.
I have read. Oh my gosh.
Read.
I did watch the Guardians holiday special. That was funny.
That thing was gorgeous. And then Ant-Man. I think that's like the only thing.
Ant-Man came out.
Ant-Man was.
Can you tell I haven't been paying that much?
Ant-Man was like, it was good.
That's good.
Like, people criticized it, but I was like, dude, I feel like everybody like hates on all the movies I like, and I'm like, do I just have a weird like taste in movies, or am I just?
I think everyone's just determined to hate everything. Like there's always gonna be
There's always gonna be a hater.
There always is gonna be a hater.
Yeah, but like, I like, as much as I say I am a Marvel fan, I sometimes don't get it. Like, the whole, like, it's gonna turn into the multiverse saga, if you guys know what I mean. If you guys follow with that. But, like, I'm gonna be so confused. Like, Loki, freaking love Loki. But, like, that whole series threw me off. I don't know what time is anymore.
I know. Like, that one's so confusing, because it's like, where is this?
What?
Where is any of this going?
I eventually figured it out after I, like, rewatched, like, Infinity War and stuff.
Yeah.
And Endgame.
Bro, there's this YouTube series I freak out about. I talked about it 2 weeks ago in my episode. And I'd say 2 weeks ago, but actually I filmed it, like, 3 or 4 weeks ago from when we were filming this. And But I know it'll be 2 weeks ago from when this comes out.
Yeah.
So, 2 weeks ago episode with my friend Lizzie, and I talked about this show, and oh my gosh, it's so good, but it's so confusing when you first watch it. It's called Lucids, and I love it. I love it to death. I've seen it like 8 times. It's this YouTube series. It's insane. It's about, like, it's based on lucid dreaming, if you know what that is.
I do know what lucid dreaming. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's based, like, the concept is based on lucid dreaming, but it's not, it's, like, that, it's just based on that concept, but it's not, like, somewhat, it's, like, hard to explain. But I started watching that show, and I didn't watch the prequels first, because I was like, oh, prequels are beforehand, and so that must have, like, come out later, so I don't need, like, I can watch the series first, and then I'll watch the prequels. I was so confused. So apparently the prequels came out beforehand on TikTok, and then he compiled them into a full video for YouTube, and I was so confused. I was like, what is going on? Because this has, like, this whole, like, basically a multiverse. It's not a multiverse, but it's basically a multiverse.
It's like, okay, I know a thing or two about this. And by that, I mean, have you ever heard of the concept of shifting?
Yes.
Reality shifting?
Yes.
So there's multiple ways that people have done it, but you usually do it in your sleep. Mm-hmm. It's a way to, like, realize you're in a lucid dream and choose realities that you want to live in. Like, I could, like, I've like dove into this, guys. I don't know anything about the show you're talking about, but like, maybe this connects in some way. But like, the whole, like, way our mind works is just so weird, especially when we sleep. Like, it's so much more active, which I'm like, okay, why? Like, but like, I've learned methods that people have, like, done. Like, there's this thing where you call it scripting. It's ways to, like, control what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You, like, just write down, like, this is what happens.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not able to die or something.
Yeah.
That way, like, because, like, we don't know what's gonna happen if you die. Like,
bro, dying in dreams is such a surreal
it's
experience.
such a weird experience. It's not, okay, I wouldn't describe it as surreal, but it scares me, man.
I guess surreal is the wrong word, but it's just, like, it's so, like, funky in the brain.
Funky, that's the right word. But yeah, I feel like, whoa. Dreams in general are just so weird.
So
like, our
weird.
brain takes, like, the information from the day, and it's like, you know, let's make a story out of this.
Yeah.
Let's make you fall. Like,
yeah, oh my gosh.
that is,
Falling in
actually,
dreams.
I love that. That's,
Really?
like, one of, no, because every time it happens, I'm like, and then I'm like, yeah.
Like, when you, like, are laying down and you just...
Yeah, and then
I
you're
heard...
like...
I don't know how true this is, so no one take my word for this. Don't you either.
No, okay.
But what I heard about why that happens, like, again, internet, so I don't know if it's actually true, is, like, you just start falling asleep really quickly, and so your brain panics because your heart rate is slowing down, and then, like, is like, wake up! So, because it thinks you're dying.
Oh!
It's your brain's, like, defense mechanism against dying.
That's weird.
That's what I heard. It makes sense in my brain, but that could not be
I mean,
true.
it makes sense, but, like, you know, like, people lie, because...
Yeah, people lie because internet. If anyone who ever watches this video knows why it actually happens, or if that is scientifically true, please tell me in the comments. I'd very much like to know. It'd be very interesting. Oh! This is an offer I've given every video for the past few videos.
Hit me.
But, if this video, if any of the past videos have gotten to 200 likes, including shorts, I include shorts on there, we will get Dolfo a chair.
Get him a chair. Please, it must be like a throne.
And I have gotten several people who said they would pitch in on getting him a chair because I'm poor.
Same.
But he will get a chair. Maybe one of the videos has already gotten to 200 likes. I think my highest like count right now is like 20 something though, so I doubt it. But maybe by the time this has come out, maybe he'll have a chair. Also, I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the episode. In case you're watching on video and you notice we're in a different room than we were in last time after I went, we're gonna be in this room now from now on. That's because that room is being occupied at the
Inhabited.
current moment. What?
Inhabited.
Oh. Such a funky word. Inhabited. But it's being inhabited currently. So, we'll be back to it in like a week or two, probably.
Maybe.
But also, next week or maybe the week after, we shall have a new decoration on the wall that I prepared. And I just haven't finished it yet because I'm lazy.
Girl, you're also, like, editing all the time.
Yeah, I also have been editing.
And you're, like...
all week.
School.
Yeah. I only do school, homework, and edit. And then occasionally I go to dance, and occasionally I go other places. To, like, D&D and stuff.
Nice.
What was the most recent movie you've seen?
On Wednesday... Okay, guys. This is exposing myself. On Wednesday, me and my family, we went and saw the Mario movie. And it was a 10 out of 10.
Nice.
And it was so good.
Don't spoil her.
I will not, girl. It was, I'm going to say, it was really good, and, like, okay, honestly, I was expecting it to be kind of bad because it's, like, a Mario, like, it's, like...
There's only so much you can do.
There's only so much you can do, but, like, it put the world of, like, Nintendo, Mario Bros, all that, into a movie really well.
Yeah,
and it,
that's
like,
good.
It covered all the aspects without, like, diving deep into them, but, like, everyone was satisfied.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. No, okay, this is do you play a lot of video games or know a lot of video games?
I do.
What is your opinion on, this is something I've wanted to talk to someone about, but I just don't have enough people.
I might not know it, so just, like, be prepared.
Well, it's just generally.
Generally.
Have you noticed, like, they're turning a lot of video games lately into movies?
Yes.
Like, what are your feelings on that? Like, they're making Minecraft movie. They've just announced.
Really?
Uh-huh. I think so. With Jason Momoa is playing Steve.
That's gonna be so funny.
That's what I heard. Maybe that's fake. I don't know.
Okay, but like, how? Like, there's no storyline to
Yeah,
Minecraft.
But I mean, maybe you're just trying. Maybe it's a quest movie and they're trying to beat the Ender Dragon.
Maybe, yeah.
Actually, I mean, they could do that. I can imagine that. But like, what are your feelings on like them making more video games? Like, because it feels like, I don't know. I feel like a couple years ago, the only thing they were doing is like live action remakes, kind of.
Yeah.
Thing. But now they're getting into like live action video games.
Or, yeah.
Or like games in general, like they just made the D&D movie. So like,
yeah, I forgot about that.
I went and saw it. It was actually pretty good. Like, I enjoyed it. But
I don't play D&D, but I really want to see it. Anyways.
Yeah. I play D&D. It was good for like D&D in my.
It's satisfied.
Yeah. I was satisfied. But yeah. What are your feelings on that? Like, just the.
Okay, so, like, the only ones I'm thinking about are Uncharted, which came out like a year ago, maybe. I don't know. The Last of Us, which
The Last of Us.
I haven't watched it, but like maybe. I hear it's good. I mean, it's got Pedro, so it's gonna be good.
Well, they also made Arcane, which was based on League of Legends.
Shoot, I forgot about Arcane.
Yeah, that's the only one I've watched.
Nice.
D&D, if you count D&D, D&D is obviously not a video game, but I'm counting it because it's like a game.
It's a game, so.
And obviously they've made game-based movies before, like Clue, and stuff like that.
Shoot, I forgot about Clue too.
But it feels like they're making them more now.
Yeah, like I feel like it's real. I feel like it is entertaining. I feel like it's hard to do.
Yes,
because like
it's very hard to do.
So little people have made them, but I feel like, and also it's just like really weird to reach into like the game aspect. And, like, especially if it's not like a story based.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I just thought of other one. Sonic.
Sonic! Oh my gosh.
I never saw either of those movies. But
I saw the first one, and I thought the first one was bad, but my brother saw it, and he saw the second one, and he thought it was really good.
Okay, so yeah. So, like, they made Sonic. They just made the Mario movie. They just made D&D. They're making the FNAF movie. I've been hearing
I forgot about that.
I don't know that much about it, but
Me neither. I've never really been Five Nights at Freddy's, but
yeah, but I know the movie's coming out. Like, it's just like big, and like people are talking about it enough where like I know it's happening.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Cause like.
But yeah, I think it is one of the arguably. I enjoyed this movie a lot. Some people think it was not done well.
Which movie?
Detective Pikachu.
Okay, I actually like enjoyed Detective Pikachu as much as I didn't expect that I would.
Yeah.
Because I've only ever played like the beginning of one Pokemon game.
Yeah.
But like I still understood it. I still was like, oh yeah, I know what those are. Like,
here's the thing. As a kid, I used to watch all the Pokemon TV shows. Like I never played any of the games because I never had anything to play a game on. And even when like Pokemon Go was a big thing, my mom wouldn't let me get it.
I never was into that because like I don't know, it was so weird. But it was the only time we saw like people in my neighborhood, like some of the guys, like would actually go on walks. But then like one time my cousins, they came to visit. And they lived, like, far away. Mm-hmm. So they came to visit, and, like, one of my cousins, he just was, like, there was something nearby, and I can't remember what, but it was, like, a building, and it was a gym. It was a Pokemon gym. And he was, like, they're only here for, like, a couple hours, and he's like, Mom, can I go over to the Pokemon gym? And I'm like, dude, I haven't seen you in, like, a year. And he's like, yeah, but I gotta catch him and stuff. And I'm like he like was like obviously ashamed at that point because he realized like what was happening.
Yeah.
But it was like, come on, dude. Like.
Yeah, but so like I watched the Pokemon TV shows, and at this point I've seen a lot of people playing the games. I still have never played Pokemon game in my life, but I've seen people playing them. I have Pokemon cards to this day. Like, I'm not, like, the biggest Pokemon person. Like, I've met some really big Pokemon people, but I know Pokemon pretty well. And when this movie came out, I don't remember what it was, like 2018 or something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that. like, I knew enough about Pokemon, right?
I think it was actually well done.
Yeah. I think it was well done how they, like, CGI'd the Pokemon.
Yes. And I don't know. I feel like, I can't remember the story that well, but I feel like I liked it.
Yeah, I enjoyed the story. And I've heard some people be like, oh, this was, like, an awful movie. But I don't know. Like, I've seen worse. I've seen a lot worse. I've seen some really bad movies.
I'm trying to think of bad movies I've seen just in comparison.
Velocipaster.
No idea what that is.
It's awful. Cowboys versus Dinosaurs. I don't know why they're all dinosaur movies. That was awful. But, like, those are all, like, they're meant to be awful, basically.
Like, yeah, they're like...
But as far as, like, movies that aren't necessarily meant to be awful, I had one in mind, and now I can't remember what it was. I watched this one movie, oh my gosh. It was a nightmare. I don't even remember what it was called. It was on Netflix, I think. And all I remember, it was some, like, dance movie. Big circle.
Never good.
Yeah, basically.
I'm sorry. Dance movies always suck.
Yeah, it was some, like, big competition or whatever. And it was like the classic thing with dance movies where it's, like, the one team's, like, fighting against this other team, right? And, oh my gosh, all I remember about this movie was the final round. What happened in the final round. I don't remember the plot except for what happened in the final round because I was cringing so hard. And I was, like, 7. So that tells you how bad it was. I wasn't actually 7. I was, like, maybe 11. But...
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. But I was like, this is awful. And I still remember this to this day, which is saying a lot. Because this was, like, kind of a forgettable
Hadley
movie.
has a really bad memory.
I do have a really bad memory. But, like, the end, there are 3 groups performing. Because this was, like, the finals, right?
Yeah.
And it's the protagonist group, the antagonist group, and this other random group, right?
So they're not going to win.
Yeah. And so the random group performs, and the judges are like, this is literally what they say. They're like, oh, I feel like there was too much, like, teamwork, and you need some, like, more individual, like...
Girl, what?
Little parts, like, show off some people. And then the second group, which is the antagonist group, they're like, oh, like... we feel like there's too much individual work and you needed more teamwork and stuff like that.
Like, it was just, like, show off each one. But,
but
no one does that.
Yeah, and then the last group, they were like, this is best. This is the balance is there. This is the best thing ever. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is not how people judge. Like, I've never been to a dance competition, but
I know that's not how they judge.
I bet you $500. Well, actually, I'm not going to bet anyone $500 because I don't have $500. I bet you this elastic on my wrist, one of them, that no judges in a competition who are competent judges, who are good judges, would ever
just base it on the choreography. They have to look at technique. And facial
just base it on
expression.
choreography and be like that bias against it. Like, you are perfect. Good job. Yes.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I wanted.
Never seen anybody get, like, a perfect... Like, of course it's going to be a perfect score because it's a movie or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, come on.
Like, you know, I always think it's interesting when they do, like, competition movies and then they don't win the competition.
I feel like that is interesting.
Which is fine.
But then it's like, the real thing was, like, in the journey or, like, something like that.
Yeah.
And everyone's like...
And sometimes it's fine. Like, you know, like, Camp Rock, like, the first one...
Gosh.
Where, like, Demi Lovato doesn't win it, but the other girl wins it, who had, like, this mini character arc that never comes back, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, Demi Lovato. I'm right. Am I? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just... Camp Rock was so bad.
Yeah. But, like, the other person wins it, and I'm like, that's fine, right? But, like, I watched the second season, I think. Yes, it was season 2. I watched season 2 of High School Musical, the musical, the series, solely because I watched season 1, and I was like...
Gotta know what happened. Though.
Yeah, like, at this point, like, might as well. I was bored. I didn't have anything to watch. Don't judge me. I was like, I might as well.
Like, all my friends were into it, and I was like...
But that was the thing. I wasn't even into it. I was just like, sure, I'm bored.
I know. I was just like, first of all, it's such a long title.
Yeah.
Like High School Musical, the series. Like,
why couldn't they just call it the High School Musical series or something like that? Why did they just do like High School Musical the musical series? Why did they have to put the series? Like they added
I feel like that. Yeah.
But at the end of that, do you care if I spoil it for you?
Go ahead.
Okay, great. Spoiler alert. If you care, then
good for you.
Good for you. Maybe I'll put the timestamp when the spoiler is done.
Perfect timing, man.
I know. I'm so good at this. But basically, what happens in season 2 is it's like these two competing schools, and
of course it is.
yeah, no, exactly. It's like the main school, like the East High School.
Love East High.
And then like the other school. I don't remember. I think it was like West High or something.
Of course it's West High.
Yeah, excuse me, sorry.
No, you're good.
And they just like, and they're like spend this entire season in this competition, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like so competitive, like they like steal each other's costumes, and they're like doing all this stuff to sabotage each other, and they're not even at the competition yet. And
that
then,
will
like,
get you disqualified.
Yeah, and then like the competition happens, and then they're like sitting in this restaurant a day later, or not a day later, it's like the night after, you know, like after performances, how you all go like get food. And they're like, you know what? We don't care anymore. And then they just leave the competition, like both teams. And I'm sitting here like, okay, you know what you just did? You just made everything that's happened before this irrelevant.
I know.
That's the worst way to end something. Like if they don't win the competition or something, or if they decide to leave the competition because like they want to let the other team have it or whatever, like
you don't just leave though.
But like, yeah, but like if you're like actually like we've been putting too much effort into this and like this shouldn't be what we're focusing on or something like that, I guess that's fine. But they just both like decided like, oh, screw the competition, friendship. And I was like, what? And like no, and literally the other team were like, they were so rude. And one kept hitting on someone who clearly had a boyfriend. Anyways, but
leave them alone.
Like they were not, like they were doing like awful stuff. And then like this last episode, like the last 5 minutes, they're like, oh yeah, we'll leave the competition and we're also completely different people now.
Yeah, we're like, they were all like, oh, I don't really know what mean people sound like. I don't know. I was just like mean, and I was like, oh. And then they're like, oh, sunshine, rainbows.
Yeah, no,
like,
exactly. It's like
like
what? How?
Why? When? Where?
Who? Like,
who is this?
Like, I swear, I was like watching it and I was like, oh my gosh, like. As far as like Disney Channel shows go, it wasn't the worst I've ever seen. Like there were some parts I was like, oh, what? Which season 2 and season 3, they just like break into music videos. It's funny.
So it's like High School Musical 2 all over again.
Yes, but not even that. Like they teleport to a completely different room. Like every single song is a dream sequence. I'm not even joking.
How do you fall asleep that much?
Yeah, every single song is a dream sequence. Like, they are just standing there, and then they start singing, and all of a sudden, they're in this other room with, like, 10 backup dancers.
I know, they're just,
in a completely different costume.
They're, like, in the kitchen, like, freaking pajamas. And then they're like, ooh, and they're just like...
And then all of a sudden, you have, like, 20 backup dancers, and, like...
Makeup done.
Yeah, makeup done, like... completely different, like you're in like a giant headpiece and like 6 different dresses that you like change between, and it's like which is I guess is fine if that was the point, but it's like, how is this relatable? Like, yes, I too when I break out into songs spontaneously, which is fine because it's a musical, that part's fine, but when I spontaneously break out into song, why am I doing this voice?
I'm British.
I am British. When I spontaneously break out into song, I too teleport to another room in a completely different dress that I don't know how it got on me. Don't panic and just keep singing. And also, I have backup dancers behind me and know exactly what dance I'm doing that I choreographed actually 2 weeks ago. And the people around me don't notice that I've been staring into space for the past 3 minutes and 30 seconds. They just go, "Hey, are you okay?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm fine." But I don't know why they waited 3 minutes and 30 seconds to ask that question. I'm clearly not okay.
She needs to go to a psych ward, guys.
Like, imagine, like, you're just, like, having this...
Yeah, you're like, here. And... Are you okay?
I'm in my dream sequence, okay?
But that's, like, so scary. Like, in this, like, situation, she's just, like, straight out in space. Like, this is creepy. How do you not wait how do you wait 3 minutes and 30 seconds?
And then in my head, I'm like, all for one. We got it. All for one. We got it. All for one. And I don't know what to do because my boyfriend broke up with me 5 minutes ago. I'm sorry.
And she's out here just saying, like, woo!
Yeah. Like in my brain, I'm in a completely different room. Like, go film in a different room. And I'm like, quick change. My boyfriend.
I'm so sad.
I'm so depressed.
Like, this totally wasn't gonna happen, but he was such a jerk, but I still love him. Like,
he was cheating on me, and I knew it for 6 months, and then he broke up with me, and I was so surprised. And then I'm breaking out into song, and then we're back in the other room, and I'm just like...
My voice would be, like, so, like, wrecked. And at that point, just be, like, I'd be crying, right? Because, like, I got broken up with.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But then you're, like, freaking hitting that high note, like...
Yeah. And it's a different thing if it's, like, you're in, like, your room or something, and, like, they're showing other things that are happening. Like, that's a different kind of music video.
Yeah.
But it's like they go to completely different universes in
they develop. They are Doctor Strange.
They become the multiverse.
They are the multiverse.
They are the multiverse. They travel the multiverse, and you're just sitting here like,
all right,
sir. How? Hydration check.
I'm just gonna stare deep into their soul.
Are you gulping?
ASMR.
I've literally made an ASMR joke every single time, I swear.
I want to touch it, but like I also don't.
You can touch it. I'm gonna stare into space, and you have to wait 3 minutes and 10 seconds exactly. You have to count. You have to count, and then you can ask me if I'm okay.
Okay.
Anyways.
I don't think that was long enough.
Probably not. It was a really short song.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry for the ADHD people. Because that would kill me.
I will probably fast forward that.
Just make it faster.
Yeah. I will fast forward but again, there are scenarios where it's okay, like if it's like memories or something like that. Mm-hmm. Like that's a completely different thing. So a show I became obsessed with over 2020, like other many people, was Julie and the Phantoms. I don't know if you know what that is.
I'm sorry, I know what it is, but I was like, what?
Yeah, but there's a part in that where this guy's like singing about like how he's really mad, like he's mad at himself, and he's really sad that he left on bad terms with his mom. Like he died before he could have reconciliation with his mom.
Dang, that was deep. I thought it was Jeez.
And that's like what because he's a ghost.
Yeah, I remember that. I watched the first episode with my friend because she was like, "Oh, you have to watch it," and I'm like, "I don't want to."
But because he died and he left with his mom. He left his mom on really bad terms, and his dad, but mostly his mom. Because he didn't argue with his dad as much, but he argued with his mom a lot, and that's why he left. Like he hadn't seen them for months before he died, and so he like goes back and this girl who's alive and helping them, her name's Julie, like comes and like gives her this song that he wrote about her. Gives his mother the song he wrote about her, saying he's sorry. And saying like, I wish I'd never done those things.
Dang.
And then he's singing it while she's reading it. When these ghosts are singing, people can hear them. If they're playing instruments or singing, people can hear them.
That's weird. That's freaky. You're just taking a shower and then they're like, and you hear like, "Mom, I'm sorry." You're just like,
but I heard a theory that's like, his mom probably thought she was just imagining it, and she could hear his voice again.
Dang.
But also while this is happening, like, they're both simultaneously having memories. Like, he's having memories of writing the song, and, like, they're both having memories of, like, arguing and, like, them regretting it and stuff like that. And she's having the memory of finding out her son died. Like, it's a really sad episode. But, like, stuff like that, that's okay. Like, that's fine. Or, like, if you stage it like a performance. If you're having a performance, that is something completely different.
But then if you're just, like, freaking playing bingo.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then you're like, I love singing and my friends.
Yeah.
Like,
like, I don't know what to say. I don't know. I can't think of any, like, songs.
Yeah. Anyways.
Like, I'm nervous for my audition.
I feel like, okay. I feel like, do you want to talk about bad TV?
I'm so down.
Okay.
We only have, like, 10 minutes left, though.
Okay, that's chill. Never mind, I can't think about any bad TV shows because
I can test.
memory just went boop.
There's this show, and it's, like, really bad, and it's just, like it's a competition show, and it's, like, really rigged, and, like, it's really cringy, and it's really hard to watch. It's called American Idol.
I was like, is it, like, some, like, game show, like, that's, like, really dumb, and it's, like, shouldn't be on? But you're like, no, American Idol. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah. I mean, no, I'm joking mostly, but it was, because we're talking about bad TV, I start talking about reality shows. Here's the thing. Reality shows
aren't reality.
I know someone, I had an old voice teacher whose husband auditioned for American Idol. And he made it to Hollywood.
Wait.
But between the auditions and Hollywood, you have to do another audition thing. And if you don't get through that other audition thing, then they don't put you on air. And he didn't get through that other audition thing. But part of the reason he didn't get through that other audition thing is he wouldn't talk about his dad who just died recently. Or his uncle or something.
Oh!
Or maybe that wasn't the reason, but he refused to talk about it. And so that's what my voice teacher suspected it was. Don't know that for sure. But he was like, no, this is something really sensitive to me. Or, like, I watched these people who were recently on America's Got Talent.
Oh, no.
And, like, they were fine. Like, they got through the auditions and, like, the second, or they barely didn't make it through the second round, but they're amazing. And, like, they did a really good job. And, but the thing is, like, they were talking about it. Like, they enjoyed the experience a lot and got to meet a lot of good people, so it wasn't a bad experience for them. But they were talking about it, and they're like, yeah, they basically rigged the voting so that we would be taken out because we didn't have a place anymore because they already had an impressionist and they already had singers, and that's what he was doing, was singing impression. They were doing singing impressions. But it's not rigged voting, it's the placement of where the acts are. Because if you're first, you can do something big, and if you're last or second to last, or both, you can do something big, but, like, at a certain point, like, in the middle, you're not allowed to go past a certain, like, you cannot do, like, confetti cannons or anything like that in your act. And so they put people, like, who they're more willing to have eliminated there. So they were second. And not necessarily, like, and, there's this dude, his name's Kerry Trivanovich. He's a pantomime artist.
Okay.
Do I need to explain what pantomime is?
I know what pantomime is.
Okay, great. I was like, you should know. But I want to make sure, because I've had to explain pantomime to a surprising amount of people.
It's like, look at the word. Mime.
Mm-hmm.
Think of, like, those people. Just, like, not French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not French. But his name's Kerry Trivanovich. He's very good. He is very good.
Mm-hmm.
He is insane. He's retired now. But he went on America's Got Talent, and they, like, actually put him on air, but they said no. But the reason they said no is that he took what he was doing seriously. Because he wasn't funny enough, and that's what they wanted from pantomime, was to be funny. He was good, he wasn't funny. TV shows are messed up. My one exception to that is, some celebrity versions of TV shows are funny.
Oh my gosh.
Because they're just for fun. Like, when they just do it for fun, like, the one I'm watching right now is That's My Jam.
Okay, yeah, I've heard good things and bad things about that. But when you said that, I just thought of carpool karaoke.
Oh, yeah.
I love carpool karaoke.
Yeah, and they're just, like, doing it for fun. That's, like, what I enjoy watching the most. Like, I do watch The Voice, and I do watch America's Got Talent if someone I know is in there. But, I enjoy more watching, like, celebrity stuff because they don't care. Because it's not like they don't, if they rig it, it's for fun, and they know it's rigged.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, and they give money away to charity. Like, it's just fun, you know? Mm-hmm. So.
It's not like I'm being fake so I can get up to that level of celebrity. It's like, I am there and we're just gonna party because,
yeah, like I just want to win money for charity.
Or like,
that was so in sync.
Whoa, that was like,
like, sorry.
Jeez, freaking twin telepathy, but not twins.
Yeah. Wow. High five.
High five
for the audio listeners. I don't know if might probably pick that up.
Yeah. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, carpool karaoke.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, we're at the top. Everyone's like, oh, they're so fake, or like, whatever. But no, they just go in and they have genuine reactions as they freaking rap.
Mm-hmm.
And then go get Burger King.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just, as much as celebrities are known for being, like, fake and stuff, I feel like celebrities on game shows tend to be more realistic and more genuine than any other type of game show.
Mm-hmm. Because it's not just, like, people who are, like, okay. Have you ever watched Game of Games with Ellen DeGeneres?
Yes.
Okay.
I used to watch it, like, very long time ago.
It's like, they're, like, already picked out, like, in the audience. They're mic'd up, and then they're like, oh! Like,
yeah.
Shut up. Like, ugh. I don't know. A lot of things are fake, and it's just, like, when you come to, like, realize that, it's, like, it's kind of funny to watch TV.
It is kind of funny to watch. Like, there is a point where you're like, okay, like, you're just fine with it at this point.
Yeah.
But when you first realize it, you're like, that's kind of annoying. Like, it's kind of frustrating, but... Which is why I try to fake nothing.
Sorry. I'm sorry, that was just like, I do this. I pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America. Where, there... I hope no one can read lips because, like, people will give me hate.
You're fine. No one can read lips that well on my crappy camera.
Yeah.
But you want to wrap up?
Yeah, let's wrap up.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much for watching, or thank you for skipping to the end if you did. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Did you enjoy the episode?
I loved it.
I'm glad. And if you want to check out my Instagram, the link should be in the description below, and we party over there. You see behind the scenes pics, you see behind the scenes shorts. You get all those shorts and reels. If you're not already on my YouTube channel, you can check out my YouTube channel where I also post the shorts and some bonus features and some extras that you wouldn't see on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts. Thank you so much for watching, and have a day.